What's going on, y'all? We back with another video, and we gonna be going over some hoop game stuff, man. So get out a pencil and pen and shoot. That's what we doing today. Ball handling is two things. It's your ability to dribble and your ability to use footwork. These two things put together is how you get a nasty handle. It's the same thing when it comes to the layup package. That's just a branch off of me being able to dribble. Of course, if I can lay the ball up, this will make me a much more effective player because now I'm using my dribbling to have some sort of advantage or some type of threat to the defense. If they clog the paint and I can't get all the way to the paint, now I'm rising up and shooting, adding that one dribble pull-up jumper or the floater. And not to mention the passing game, my ability to see the court. So with all these different things, now I'm much more of a bigger problem. And then I extend my ball handling skills off ball. Now, if I can catch and shoot, you got to watch me and my footwork off the ball. So now my ball handling has extended to me not even having the ball anymore. So I took my ball handling and I've added all of these different things to my game to make me that much more effective and that much more sound. So all of these different things play a key component in terms of how we build our game. So the way in which you should train should be in order to strengthen the certain skills that you possess. As a ball handler, it would be finding the right dribbling workouts and, of course, the footwork, your ability to finish around the rim. Having the one dribble pull-up, you would have to train this, and you would have to find other ways to work on your balance to become a more effective mid-range shooter. Also shooting with more arc and shooting with lower arc. This way, you have to adjust your shot a certain way. You can then be able to do that. And all these little detailed training things that you're doing is how you train in order to continue to build your game. Another thing is a certain way that I myself worked on my aim and my focus was by playing pool. The funny thing about this is Michael Jordan himself, he spent just as much time on the basketball court as he did on the golf course. This is what I believe the key thing and why his shooting percentage was so high. The shots he took, of course, were the same shots, but as well, he played a lot of golf and he did a lot of mental training to work on his aim and his focus. Now, another thing about Michael Jordan is anytime he did a lot of other activities, he came back on the basketball court more ready to go than anybody else. Why is this? Because he didn't stop training. See, here's the thing about training. When you train, there's different methods of training. There's training on the basketball court, and then there's training off the basketball court, which would include maybe the golf course, maybe the pool table, or maybe whatever else it is that continues training you, however, without you using all of this excess energy. This is called waxing on training, waxing off training. So what this does is it gives you more energy when you do come back on the court because you just waxed off. So there's many different things. If you want to look at it in a way of mental, physical, and spiritual, this can give you a better perception of how to wax on and wax off training. Golf or playing pool is both mental training. Waxing on here, you're waxing off on the basketball court. Now you're not exerting all this energy, and then you go back to playing basketball and you're exerting not as much mental energy as in terms of playing pool. This is like more so the mental side. Sometimes we fall short in life because we're not training all the aspects of ourselves. Sometimes we spend too much time thinking on the logical side and not understanding the importance of the imagination and creativity. Imagination and creativity is the motivation for you to start the left side of your brain, which is the logical thinking, the discipline, and the critical thinking. So both sides of the brain play key parts in your development. Therefore, both need to be trained. Training can come from you catering to and feeding your imagination and creativity what it wants. Say you're someone who has a very desire to learn of history. You have to cater to this and feed to this curiosity of learning more about history or learning more about the world. This is something that many basketball players don't do because as a basketball player, as an athlete, I know myself, what I was being influenced by as a basketball player is just this one person that is always constantly on basketball and not thinking about anything else or not expanding and growing his mind in any other ways. This reminds me of Kyrie Irving a lot because Kyrie Irving has a very, very interesting perspective on basketball. He says that basketball is an extension of yourself, which I believe he is true. I believe that as a basketball player, if you're able to cater and train yourself in all angles, you'll become a more effective basketball player. Kyrie Irving himself is a very effective basketball player, and he uses a lot of different angles and he trains himself in a lot of different ways. So yes, I do agree with the idea of strengthening yourself in as many ways as you can, because by doing this, you then become more effective and you are now also less vulnerable to problems or being overtaken by challenges. So as a basketball player, it is very important for us to be able to train our imagination and our creativity just as long as the basketball side. But everything is a wax on, wax off. There comes a season where basketball stops and you're no longer playing basketball. So when this season comes, whether it's through retirement or whether it's through a break, there has to be an onset of something. Your imagination and creativity must take you somewhere else. What I mean by that is, take us basketball players, for example, when we retire. Most basketball players, when we're 15, 16, 17 years old, training to become basketball players, we don't make it all the way to the NBA like we want to. Some of us play overseas, some of us play in the country, and our careers don't go that far. There is a 0.0000001% chance or something like that of you actually making it to the league. So what are we doing with ourselves after the basketball career stops, whether we make it or not? Most people don't have a backup plan, or as athletes, we train our whole body to go up this one way, and then we have to jump into a whole nother career by the age of 25. No, that's really crazy, and that's really hard to do, because us as athletes in particular, we've been training ourselves our whole lives to become basketball players. This is our career. We are athletes because this is what we trained when we were kids. So the thing that we need to be able to do is be able to train ourselves off season. So when we're in 15, 16, or 17 years old, what are we doing off season? Are we learning about business? Are we learning about economics? This is the curiosity and the imagination that we need to be beating to become more complete. Everyone has a dream and everyone has a purpose. And the only way to get to that dream or purpose is through the imagination and through your creativity. It always comes through imagination and creativity first. That is the spark of what then becomes discipline and what then becomes critical thinking. Whatever it is that you dream of yourself doing, follow that dream, even as an athlete. When you're on season as an athlete, take care of business. That means do what you need to do on the basketball court. But off season, train your imagination and your creativity in what it is that you dream of other than basketball, because there's more things that we dream of and there's more aspects to us than just basketball. From learning about what it is and having a vision about what else it is that you want to do, you can then go into the critical thinking and the logic side of learning about entrepreneurship. Learning about everything that comes with economics will then lead you to learn about the things you need to know in order to do business successfully. Just in you having a dream and having a vision will now double back to the critical side of you into learning more about your history, learning more about business, and learning more about the social structure do. Because in order to get what you are destined to or what you dream of doing, you have to go to this critical side and be disciplined in learning about these different things. This is just on the off season. When you do this on the off season, you come back to the season ready to go with more information and knowledge of other things. So this is actually not hurting you in terms of getting back on the court. This is actually helping you. Sometimes we spend too much time on the basketball court and then we don't train the other aspects that we need to train in order to become more complete basketball players. We think that if we spend more time on the basketball court, we're getting this bigger edge over the other guys who are training to be basketball players. But however, we're actually training ourselves as people and learning what it is we need to know in order to follow our dreams. This is how we become more effective basketball players for the basketball court, actually. So there's a little bit of a catch, right? It's a little bit of a catch because you would think that the more time you spend on the basketball court, the better you're getting. However, if you would take that time and put it into some other things, you would become a more complete basketball player. So it's important for us as basketball players to be able to train all aspects of ourselves to become the most effective basketball players and effective people as well. It's important for us to know about business. This way we don't get exploited by the businesses that we have to deal with when we do get these careers. Say you do make make it to the NBA, right? You have to know about business in order to be able to not be gullible to the business advisors or the other types of business people that you're doing business with, because you have to understand that a business advisor is going to do what's best for them as the business advisor, which may not always be what's completely best for you. Sometimes what's best for them is to put you in a situation where you will keep paying them money and not be financially free. So there's many aspects to basketball that requires an education on economics and business. This way you do not become exploited. Most people that get into basketball or even have these careers as NBA players, when their careers is over, they don't have the proper fallback. You see this a lot in most NBA players and most basketball players in general. They do not have a second career or something else to fall back on. Basketball is just one part of life. It ends for everybody. So it's important to be able to craft out your dreams, the other aspects of you, and the other aspects that you are curious about and that you have passion for. It's all about whatever your purpose is and training that purpose. Basketball is a means of sparking someone to learn about life, concepts. But then after basketball's over, what else are we doing to fulfill ourselves? Curiosity. Curiosity is how we spark, and it's our imagination that sparks us. So we have to cater to and listen to our curiosity and our imagination in order to be able to see or get the blueprints of the vision in which we're to carry out. All right, y'all, but I think I'm going to end on that note right there. I will holler at y'all in the next video. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.